Welcome to Rage Against the Regime Radio, where status quo gets taken to task. With your host, Bobby Who's Demand. Don't be a stranger. Give us a call at 929-477-3565 or contact us at rageagainsttheregimepodcast@gmail.com or on our Twitter at RATR Podcast. And please like our Facebook page. On with the show. Here's Bobby.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rage Against the Regime Radio. I am your host, Bobby Who's the Man. Today is going to be something a little bit different than I've done in the past. The main thing that I want to talk about right now, and I'm sure a lot of you have been paying attention to this, but it seems that we're having a global pandemic when it comes to the weather. The numbers are off the chart with all the earthquakes and the earthquake swarms and the tornadoes that we've been having. They're reporting earthquakes in Arizona in places that earthquakes have never even happened before. Now, a lot of people will tell you that, some of it has to do with fracking, some of it has to do with chemtrails, some of it just has, to do with time and so on and so forth. And, I can imagine the production of a lot of things that are made throughout the whole world and the pollutants that are put in the air out of some of these stacks and these chimneys on some of these places and stuff can't be a good thing. I don't know what the major cause of a lot of it is, but for anybody that hasn't been paying attention, start paying attention. Look at the numbers that are off the chart. These are record numbers. Some of these countries throughout the world are right now dealing with different scenarios that they've never dealt with before. Costa Rica, 2 active volcanoes. Indonesia just got hit with a volcano. I mean, all these volcanoes all over the place are all pretty much going off at the same time. And for those of you that don't know, I talked to Tom Luju from Bunker Report last week, I believe it was. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. And we did one hell of a show. And you can go back in the archive and listen to it. You can find it on, YouTube, iTunes, on Blog Talk Radio. You can find it here. You can find it everywhere. And we talked about a lot of things, and it was pretty much all weather related. We answered questions, and, Tom mostly answered questions. And I got to be honest with you. A lot of the stuff that we talked about pretty much would scare the living hell out of anybody that doesn't know about it. And I think a lot of these tornadoes and stuff that are happening in a lot of these areas, not just tornadoes, but mainly earthquakes that are happening in a lot of these areas, that it hasn't happened before. I think what a lot of that has to do with is underground triggering effect. And it's just, it's spreading it out all over the place. I would not be surprised if all these volcanoes somehow came together in the core and were kind of linked. I mean, I'm not sitting here telling you that's the case. I'm saying I would not be surprised if that was the case. I mean, why else would all these things be happening at the same time? I mean, We're a planet. We're just a big ball in the sky. Just a big ball of matter floating around in the sky. How do we know that it doesn't all come together in the core? We don't. Just like, how do we not know if we dug straight down that we wouldn't reach China? I mean, I know it's an old joke, but seriously. These things make me wonder, and I have a feeling. Now, I'm not a specialist or an expert or anything by any stretch of the imagination. But I mean, we've been hearing it long enough, and why not believe it? I think that our government might be the ones that's controlling our weather. Here, take for instance. We're in April, the end of April, about to go into May. And, I don't know, it's been in the 40s and 50s here in Chicago. We had one 81-degree day. That was on Monday. The rest of it's been in the 40s and 50s and stuff like that. We really didn't have a winter. And last year, we didn't have much of a summer. A lot of places are getting snow right now. And they're places where it should be warm. I mean, this is really, really crazy. And it's quite scary, to be honest with you. Because if they can control the weather like this, I mean, have they been doing it all along? Just didn't tell us. And you should be pissed off about it, because that means in places where we didn't have water, like California and stuff, that they could have created water, they could have helped the crops grow. That just strengthens people's arguments saying, you know, they're trying to kill us off and, you know, this and that. I don't know about all that stuff. Okay? I don't even like thinking about it. I don't even want to get into it. But I can tell you one thing for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a situation right now in our country and other countries also where everybody is sitting here worried about who the next president's going to be, and they think that, you know, if I go out and cast this ballot, the person that I'm going to vote in office is going to make such a change for me and such a change for my country that, you know, I've got to get really offensive when people talk bad about my candidate, and I got to really protect him, you know, and this and that. Cruz people drive me absolutely crazy. When Ted Cruz first came out and everybody was talking about him and everything, I was like, you know what? This guy might really be somebody to pay attention to. He pretended to be a conservative. He's not a conservative. Okay? He pretended to be one. Those of you that don't want to believe that he's part of the Bush gang, the Bush family gang, you're crazy. Jeb's right at his side, you know, trying to help him campaign. They gave him money. They donated money to him. And then Soros came forward. Oh, you need a little bit of money, and go ahead here, take some money. Knowing that he's been mathematically eliminated for a while now. Same thing with John Kasich. What the hell are you even in the race for? Somebody's making promises to these people and probably saying, you know what? We're going to make sure that Trump doesn't get the delegates that he needs, and we're going to go ahead and handpick somebody, and we're going to pick you two goofballs, or one of you two goofballs. Well, I think that Ted Cruz went ahead and pissed in John Cosage's Cheerios. And the reason why I say that is because he picked Carly to be his vice president. Now, you know that little poem that Donald Trump keeps doing about the snake? Well, here she is. She just popped her head back up again, and the snake is now present and accounted for. Carly is the snake. Now, she got 1% of the vote while she was running. 1% of the vote. So, if Cruz is trying to strengthen his campaign, and he picks Carly to be his vice president, that's got to be a joke if I've never heard one before. Carly's going to be my vice president. We're going to win. What an odd couple of a team. And what a losing couple. I mean, as if Cruz didn't already have enough problems with his little DC Madam scandal, with getting money from George Soros, with not being a legal alien here. I shouldn't say a legal alien, a legal citizen. I don't know if that's true or not. Okay? I don't know if he's really Canadian or if he's American or whatever. I don't really care. I just know one thing for sure. Ted Cruz has got a lot of people fooled. Okay? A lot of people. There's videos going around of him giving money to people for delegates. I mean, he was caught right on video. Now, do I know that that's what he was really doing? No, I don't. I'd be lying if I told you that. You know what? He could have been paying for pizza. I don't think that was the case, though, and I'm going to tell you why. It was a ballot slip or something in the person's hand, and when he was passing the money, he was trying to hide it underneath whatever the paper was. I think it was a ballot slip. He was hiding it underneath of that, and then when he passed it, he was trying to keep it tucked under that paper, and, the person didn't get it right, so then he had to hand it back to the person, and something was really fishy about it. Now, do I know 100% for sure that's what he was doing? No, I don't. But if I had to take a guess, I would say absolutely he was up to something, and he's conniving and a swindler. Now, I'm not saying that Trump is any better. The thing that I like about Trump is that he's a businessman. He owes nothing to nobody. He's running his own campaign with his own money. He doesn't have to promise any lobbyist anything. He doesn't care what he's saying, and he doesn't care whose feelings he hurts. And he's a truther. He believes that 9/11 was an inside job. He believes that our government is corrupt. He believes that the Koch brothers are Koch brothers, Soros, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, all of them. Anybody that goes to the Bilderberg meetings, all crap. Anybody that goes to the Bohemian Grove, all crap. Okay? Every one of them. Crap. So, ladies and gentlemen, I like Trump for that reason. He is willing to stand up and fight. He's willing to call it like it really is. He's got balls the size of watermelons. I like it. I respect it. Okay? I respect it. You don't have to. You don't have to respect him. You don't have to respect, what it's really about or anything else. But look into it and look into Donald Trump and look into what's really going on and what he's really about. Because I think he's worth a vote. Now, I've been saying forever, you guys are sick of hearing me say it, I don't think that votes actually count. Okay? On a national level. I think it's propaganda. I think it's false advertising. And they give you a false sense of security, making you think that you actually have a say in who could be the next president of the United States. That's what I believe. I think that they already know who the next president's going to be. I think the person's already picked out. I could be wrong. Now, I do have to admit, something happened today that kind of made me question a little bit. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump have the same address in Delaware. The same address in Delaware. Now, it could be an office building that has lots of offices, and that was the only place that they had to be able to campaign. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I do not know. But we will find out. Because you can believe it's going to come out. It's all going to come out in the wash. Now, I just happened to be driving down the highway, and I happened to look over, and it looks like there's some overpasses people out on one of the exits here, and I'm actually going to turn around, and I think I'm going to go and interview them. So you may hear me do an interview here in a little while with some overpass people that are hanging out at one of the overpasses. Until next time, stay aware, folks.